So today I really just wanted to cover this. This is what I wanted to cover. Making sure it's on the screen. This is the gist of it. We can go down this list. Um, we can go down this list for days of what's going on. So basically, with anything that we get our hands on, and when I say we, I mean black people, we start to find little ways that we can work around things. And I'm not saying that white people don't do it, but when we do it on a mass scale and we look up and everybody doing it. So it was that way with Sprint phones when people were hitting the Sprint phone licks. You looked up everybody hitting the lick. Same thing with pills and everything else. When they do it, it's cool. When we start doing it, we get 20, 30, 40 years for it. It's just the way it is. The same thing with gangs and everything else. So with taxes, what happened was a lot of traffic came from MLMs and things like that. Then it went to network marketing, and then it went to credit repair. Then it went to business credit, and now it's taxes. Taxes is the new it thing, so a lot of people are doing taxes. And when a lot of people are rushing into any type of industry, it's because there is no barrier to entry or a low barrier to entry. With taxes, it's a very low barrier to entry. You do not need training to actually do taxes. I did not have real training my first meeting, my first season, I'm sorry. But what happens is a bunch of people think it's just easy work and they do it without thinking about what they're doing. And that is exactly what's going on with taxes. I'm seeing it a little bit with high level, everybody jumping over to high level and they trying to resell the software and don't even know what the software does for real. It's just anywhere somebody see that it's some money to be made, they go there and try to make it, especially if they don't either go to school for it, get a certificate, do anything for it. And taxes has gotten real bad, and when it get bad like this, the feds do not play. So last year, a bunch of people were indicted over the tax season and the season before. And this is just one case. These people were doing millions of dollars in fraudulent tax returns, blaming some pandemic money, right? They were claiming this unemployment pandemic money. This is a problem that we don't necessarily not have to deal with anymore, but the scale that we have to do it on is so low right now that this is not something that I'm necessarily worried about. I just want to show y'all what these indictments look like. If you see it right here, it says Jessica Crawford used her position as a tax preparer to defraud the U.S. government through a CARES Act program intended for those unemployed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So this particular lady used COVID-19 money and she lied and took advantage of funds designed to help those who were truly in need during the pandemic. And the FBI and the IRS did a criminal investigation and they found out that did, she did over 1,200 tax returns in 2020 and 21. All of those tax returns. And of those, the IRS determined that Crawford fraudulently filed tax returns on behalf of clients, resulting in losses to the IRS exceeding $3 million. dollars. And this is all you have to do to claim these losses is fill out one of these forms. And this particular form is a 7202. This is all that you have to do is fill out these forms and you are committing fraud. Let's see another case. I'm just going through a few of these. They won't be like a whole bunch of them. I just want to show y'all what's going on. This is right here in Detroit. So, a federal court in Michigan issued a permanent injunction on Friday against Detroit area tax return preparers Alicia Bishop and Tanisha Green. So, they are barred from doing taxes, and they were previously barred, right? And their company is United Tax Team, and they even barred the incorporator Glenn Hurst from preparing federal taxes. I'm just showing y'all this is the type of stuff that they do. So according to the complaint, this was way back in 2000. Oh, they incorporated in 2016, and this alleges that they use a variety of schemes to improperly reduce the customer's tax liabilities or to obtain tax refunds to which the customers were not entitled. Specifically, the complaint alleges that, hold on, my screen, my camera's in a way, that Quells, Green, Turner, and Stewart fabricated Schedule C's. This is what I want to talk about. Right? They fabricated Schedule C's. So, what happens when you prepare taxes is you start seeing that maybe a person is not getting back what you feel like they should get back, or you feel like you can get them more back if you give them a business, um, and that is that's not the way to go about it. Shay, you are a hairdresser, a stylist, so you have certain records that you use to fill out the information in the Schedule C. While this is your first season and you may not know about those records and how to fill out this Schedule C, you do understand that a Schedule C is a business form. So you have people that work 9 to 5s, and you have people that may have other things going on, and they say they have a business. Anybody could say they have a business. I am going to be looking for those Schedule C's to make sense, and I'm going to be looking for the proper information for these Schedule C's. If somebody says they have a business and they are making $50,000 in their business, right? But they have no proof. They have no bank statements. They have nothing, even claiming a loss. You have some proof. Now, they may not have every single receipt, but if they have 3 receipts for a monthly cost of $500 and they may be missing two, then they got the other eight, 7 or 8 or whatever. Like you see it, you like, okay, this is what's going on. They like, look, I don't know what happened to the other 2 receipts for my rent or what happened to X, Y, and Z. We're that's one thing. But for them to have zero proof, we cannot file that return. For them to have zero proof of a business, you have people with no LLCs, no anything. And even if they have an LLC, it does not mean that they're actively using it. This is a federal crime. If they are fabricating Schedule C's, it's a federal crime. If you see here that they reported fictitious business expenses and income to improperly reduce overall taxable income for some customers. They if they were doing this, they were also, and they were, yep, it say they were also adding tax credits. They were claiming things that didn't belong on people returns. And you see people doing this. This is COVID-19 relief funds. But a couple years ago, people were doing it with oil credits. And these were like 20 some $1,000 oil credits. And people were balling off these oil credits. And I had somebody even ask me about it. We do not want to get involved in anything like that. This is my Ethan on the line. I'm not going to let a bunch of BS get through this year. I'm going to be looking for stuff like that. So make sure you get the proper documentation, and we'll go over what the proper documentation looks like. So this says a would-be lawyer who falsely inflated dozens of client tax returns was convicted of 33 counts of tax fraud, right? Castro and Company was a virtual tax preparation business. They were indicted in January of last year. It was a 5-day bench trial. He was convicted. And this person graduated law school but failed a bar exam. He was a loser. He just got used to losing. He held himself out as an international tax expert and federal practitioner and claimed to be a graduate of West Point. This guy had a whole fake. This is what I tell people about the online guru stuff. And I ended up getting like caught up in that, and I had all these leads that were like questioning my integrity, and it kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, dog, I'm just trying to help you in your business. But I had to realize that so many people are doing what this guy doing. This guy's saying he is this, saying he graduated, saying he did this. This is what a lot of people are doing online. You got people that have fake doctorate degrees and different things like that. So this guy was he went to law school, but he failed the bar. And this guy was basically a loser. So between 2017 and 2019, look, he filed more than 1,900 tax returns on behalf of individuals from all over the world because he calling himself an international tax expert. So this particular person was running around. He went to law school. He got some kind of sense, even though he couldn't pass the bar. He had some kind of sense, and he put on his best facade and he tricked people. So they were thinking that he, he's somebody. So you got one client here that made $103,000 in income, and Mr. Castro claimed over $90,000 in deductions from this $103,000. This person made $103,000, and this guy claimed over $90,000 in deductions related to unreimbursed employee expenses. Like this guy is literally just saying this man spent $90,000 on anything. He claimed deductions based on extreme and unsupported legal theories, including deductions such as those for any expense related to preventing an illness qualified as an impairment. Like this dude was just doing anything, right? And that's why he did 100, and that's why he did 1,900 tax returns. Because if you, most people want as much money as they can get, you see people like this 1,900 tax returns over a 2-3 year period, they are probably doing some type of scamming, and people are flocking to them because they're getting a lot of money back. Now, this could also be because of the year from 17 to 19 is not like how it is now. Everybody is doing taxes now. You see everybody with their arms crossed. Everybody doing taxes now. So this is not that would technically be like 600, 650 returns a year over 3 periods, three seasons of taxes. And it's not unrealistic, but realistically, you could shoot somewhere in the area of 30 to 50, especially your first year or two. 30 returns is great for your first year. I did a little more than that, but I already had people that did other things with me, like credit repair, that trusted me with their information. But I'm telling you, if you can do even 20 to 25 your first year, you are doing great as a tax preparer. Do not let these scammers make you feel like you are dropping the ball here. Look, they scammed the IRS out of almost $8 million, and they sentenced them to a combined 105 months. So these people, one of them got 57 months, right? They were doing PPP loans, and this is all I'm saying. It's easy to get caught up in the BS. We don't want to do that, right? We don't want to get caught up in the BS. So that's what I am trying to avoid. Um, and I want to make sure that my team is avoiding that by any means necessary. We don't want no smoke with the IRS. So there is a list of compliance um, information, and I want to go over a little bit of that. Right, I want to go over a little bit of the compliance, um, some of the compliance rules,
Okay.
and you
I'm
can,
here.
if you get on the IRS website, you can find any of this stuff. Um, it's not real hard. So you have to have the right record keeping. When people come in, make sure they are giving you their ID, social, W-2s, their children's socials, and whatever they, a birth certificate, something to prove that they're their kids. You need this information, and it has to match. The information has to match. If these people don't look like who on the picture, they trying to run a scam. If the bank account is in somebody else's name, they probably trying to run a scam. We have to be alert to all of this. So in doing our compliance checks, we have to make sure that um, we are holding ourselves accountable. I won't catch every single thing, right? I won't catch every single thing. But if I catch you being slick, I got to hold you accountable. I will pay you whatever I owe you, but I'm getting people out of my system if they on BS. I don't have time for it. Just do the right thing. And the right thing is not hard. Everybody not not gonna get a six, seven, eight, $9,000 return, especially if they have no dependents, no, they haven't paid anything during the year from work or anything like that. There is nothing that that should give somebody eight, $9,000 unless they paid something already. Um, they should not be looking for those type of returns, and you just have to be realistic in what you're telling them. Like you got to be realistic and say, look, for a person with no dependents, they're lucky if they don't owe, and if they do get something back, it's usually low 1,200. It just depends on what they had taken out at work, but it's kind of low. Like it's not 2,500, 35, 4,500. With one dependent, it's somewhere around 2,500. With two, it may be around 5, 6,000. With three, you may get up to 7,500, something like that. Anything other than that is because they have a business that they had some losses in. Anything other than that is because they've paid during the year, so they don't have that much tax debt going into the tax season. It has to be something to make that return higher than around 6 or 7,000, because the child tax credit is going to max out. The child tax credit is going to max out. Is you can only get you're only getting credit for two dependents, and then the third one you getting a partial credit because it maxes out. So let's keep the numbers kind of even. So let's say the child tax credit maxes out at $6,500. If you have two dependents at $2,500, you have $5,000 already towards that 6,500. All you have left is 15 more hundred. So you're not getting a whole 2,500 for that third child or dependent. You have to remember this. So sometimes you may get parents who share or split time with a kid or two or three kids. That's something you should advise them on. Like, look, you only going to get partial credit. Somebody I know, their child's mother, and they were living together, and their child mother wanted to claim all four kids, and I was like, look, my guy, you need to claim your two, so y'all can get the full credit for everything. And nobody listened, and it was like it's crazy, but you all you can do is give your advice. So things like that are things that you will learn as we go through the next few weeks. I just wanted to make sure you understood what compliance is and to make sure that they have everything they need. Because if they don't have it, they're going to they're going to blame us. They're not going to look at the person, right? They're not going to look at them and say, okay, y'all didn't have X, Y, and Z. They're going to look at us because we're the professionals. We are the wall. We're going to be the ones that get held accountable. They may not give them the money, or they may charge them the money back and say, no, you owe us, or they may even flag the return. But with us, it's like, no, you should have had training and you should have not filed this return without proper documentation. So that's the main thing going into the season. We have to get documentation. If they are a hairdresser, they have one of those apps, they have Cash App, they have something to say that they made some money doing something. If they a stripper, then they got to pay some taxes. Like, right? They still gotta do their taxes, and they need to prove that they did something during the year. I don't care what they are. We cannot take people word and just them saying this is what I made. It's just not gonna work. I don't care what you're doing. You got bank accounts. You got something that you can prove that you made income from whatever business that you're trying to claim. We cannot just go in and claim losses. There are some legitimate losses that we can take and that we can claim in these returns, but we cannot just make things up. And the IRS ain't trying to hear that. So that's the main thing I wanted to cover tonight was just going into this season, we have to make sure that we are doing our due diligence and we are making sure that all of the documentation is there. It needs to be in the software. When you sign people up, I always send them the link to the software first. Before the season start, I will give everybody a link. I'm moving the office over to the new service bureau, so it'll be a different link. But you send that link first and let them sign up. That way, they are connected to the system, and then you can send them their return to sign. You got to send them the link first to send them their return to sign. Other than that, you'll have to go through the rigmarole of sending it in the email, sending them a password, all of that, but it's just easier for them to get the app and upload their information directly in the app, take pictures of their W-2s, take pictures of their ID, take a selfie. They do everything with the link that you send them to the app. And once they sign in with that link, we will be able to send them messages in the portal that's connected to the software. That's the best thing to do. Send them the link, let them do that. If they have years prior, like a 23, 22, 24 now going into next year, if they have any of those years, then you just have them email it to you and you got to upload it into the software. I will show everybody how to do that before the season start, but the information needs to be in the software. It has to be in the software because I'm going to go in there and look for it as I approve the returns this year. I'm doing everything by the book, make sure all of the information is in there. If they do not have proof of any type of income, then we don't need to claim it. I'm not going through and look at every single receipt, but they need to have some bank statements, some cash apps, some Zelle reports, something that say that this is what they're doing. If they have those like style C apps or anything like that, then we can use those because those say, how much they made, and then they can tell us how much they spent on materials and different things. But we need to see it and we need to be able to do an accurate tax return based on accurate information and it has to make sense. They're not going to tell us that they spent $90,000 of 103,000. Like we everything got to make sense. So that's the main thing I wanted to cover tonight. If well, there's only two of y'all on it, either one of y'all got a question. Hey, Alicia, iPhone 2. Hey, pretty lady. That's my fiance, my Beyonce down there.
No, you covered.
Shay, yo,
I don't
are
know.
you talking? Is not coming through. It's something.
I don't know what's going on. Can
Oh,
you hear me
you
now?
breaking up. Yep, your sound bad.
Is that better?
Yep, I can't hear nothing you saying. Let me see. Let me mute it. Unmute. Yep, your sound bad.
Is that better?
Nope. Baby, can you talk? Shay, log off and log back on. Just log out and then just use the link and log back in. That might help. Let's see.
Is that better?
Nope, it's still bad. I don't know what it is.
I have no.
And that's crazy. And it was just working. Baby, can you talk? Okay, bet. Long as you don't got no questions. All right, long as y'all don't have questions, I'm gonna get ready for this second Zoom. I'm gonna stop the recording and